Welcome to Football with Cheese. So in this video, we're going to talk about the trade that sends Jaylen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins to the Denver Broncos, what it means for both of those teams that are going in completely different directions, and why this is more important than you think, this trade. But first, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss one of my videos. I'm really happy this happened because I was struggling to come up with a topic for today's video. I think I was going to make one about the Chargers, what's going on there. I know some of their fans are not happy that they're not spending more in free agency. I'm going to try to explain that. So look out for that video tomorrow or Thursday. But I try to make a video at least for every weekday for you guys leading up to the draft. Sometimes I'll make videos on the weekends if there's a trade or something big happens. But I was trying to find a topic for this video, and right before I started making notes for the Charger video, I saw the trade of Jaylen Waddle, wide receiver, from the Dolphins to the Broncos. So let's start with the Broncos first, and make sure you stay to the end and talk about the Dolphins and why I like it for both teams. The Broncos were 3 points away from the Super Bowl. Obviously, Bo Nix got hurt. And most Broncos fans think we would have been in the Super Bowl if he was healthy. Very possible. Probably. No guarantees, because the Patriots' strategy was don't make a mistake. We're going to win with defense because you have a backup quarterback, and it worked. But rewatching that game, the wide receivers and tight ends weren't good enough for Denver. They did not help out Jared Stidham enough. They didn't separate enough from the Patriots' corners. So the Broncos know they needed to get another receiver. And you have Courtland Sutton, who's a good player. He's a 1.5 receiver. What that means is he's, above average number one, would be a great number two receiver. So that's why I call him a 1.5. I love Troy Franklin. I like Marvin Mims, but they're number 3-4 type receivers. So they needed a number two. And Jaylen Waddle is that guy. I think he's a perfect fit for this offense. He gives them a speed element. He gives you yards after catch. He's just one of those guys that is just very good. Maybe never be elite. He's a former top 10 pick. And the Broncos are thinking, okay, at the 30th pick, we're not getting Carnell Tate. We're not getting Jordan Tyson. Probably not getting Mekhi Lemon. So we're not going to get a receiver as good as Jaylen Waddle at pick 30. So why not make this move? Makes a ton of sense. The 30th pick in this draft, you're probably getting a mid-second round talent. It's just so weak at the top. Now the draft has depth. More on that in a second. So the Broncos are thinking, okay, the 30th pick, it's just not very valuable. We need a tight end. We probably need a defensive tackle to replace John Franklin Myers. And we need a receiver. And we're not going to get a player at 30 as good as Jaylen Waddle. Not even close. So let's make this move. And right now, I think the Broncos are the best team in the AFC. I might have said that before this move, but they needed another playmaker. Like I said, they still need to upgrade tight end, but you weren't getting Kenyon Sadiq. They still need to upgrade defensive tackle. It's not a great defensive tackle class at the top, but it's got depth. So they have 2 early 4th round picks. They have a 2nd round pick. They can get a defensive lineman there. And they just don't have a lot of needs. Broncos fans, let me know in the comments. Is there a sneaky need? Maybe running back? I like Harvey okay. Dobbins is good when he's on the field, but he's hurt a lot. So maybe running back. But other than that, the Broncos just didn't have a lot of needs. And getting another receiver opposite Courtland Sutton had to be the number one priority, and they've done that. And Jaylen Waddle, he's a dude. I love watching him play, and he's been stuck playing with Tua. Let's be honest, Bo Nix is an upgrade over Tua. And Pat Surtain, star cornerback, and Jaylen Waddle reunited, good friends from their time at Alabama. Okay, Broncos, you did great. Loved it. Let me know in the comments what you think about this trade. You got to be excited. Let's talk about the Dolphins and why I love this move for them too. This is one of those trades I'm just so positive about. I'm happy. I'm grumpy a lot of times. Ask Mike, my co-host, the Lights Out podcast. Tonight, we're doing a watch-along for Team USA World Baseball Classic versus Venezuela. It starts at 8 Eastern at 5 Pacific. Link in the description. We will talk football on the commercials in between innings. Trust me, we're going to talk a lot of football, free agency. We will talk about this trade. I want to get Mike's take on it as well. But some moves make me grumpy. This does not. Very positive move for the Dolphins. Okay, you don't have Jaylen Waddle. That sucks. But you're not going to win in the next 2, probably 3 years, Miami. The roster is probably the worst in the NFL. Chris Greer did a horrible job, except for a few good draft picks here and there, like Waddle, like Achane. His drafts are horrible. And you need help on the offensive line, defensive line, secondary, everywhere. You need help every single aspect of that team, except for starting running back, basically. So why not get as many draft picks as you can, completely rebuild, get younger, stink the next couple years, and then go for it in 2028, 2029, and beyond. Now, Malik Willis, sucks for him. He signed there probably thinking he was going to throw to Waddle all the time. Not going to happen. Obviously, the Dolphins will have a plan. I think they'll draft multiple receivers, maybe even 3, because it's a deep wide receiver class. But you get a first-round pick, 30th overall. You get a late third-round pick as well. And you swap fourth-round picks. So you move down 19 spots. But if you look at the trade value chart, they got the equivalent of a late first-round pick and early fourth round, just as far as draft capital goes. But there were teams trying to trade for Waddle in the middle of the year, right before the trade deadline, and they were not offering this much, not even close. I heard some rumors people were offering either a second-round pick and a mid-round pick, and they got a first-round pick and a mid-round pick. So they did very well to get this trade. And Jon-Eric Sullivan, got to mention him, he learned from the Green Bay Packers. And Ted Thompson, it's been over 20 years, wow. When he was hired, it was a similar situation. Not exactly, they had Brett Favre, they had some pieces, but overall, the roster was bad. The offensive line wasn't good. They had a lot of holes. And Ted Thompson knew that. He knew we cannot fix this right away. He traded Javon Walker, wide receiver, to Denver. Interesting. Another Broncos trade. Got a second-round pick for him. Traded down a lot. Drafted Aaron Rodgers. And the players that he got by moving down and loading up on draft picks helped build the 2010 season where they won the Super Bowl over the Steelers. So Dolphin fans, this is the plan. We are not going to be good no matter what we do, no matter what free agents we sign, because of Chris Greer's mess. It's amazing how good Mike McDaniel did with this team, by the way, because the roster hasn't been good for several years. And a couple years ago, you were in the playoffs. Crazy. Mike McDaniel, great coach. But what they're going to do, what Jon-Eric Sullivan's going to do, and Jeff Hafley, they're going to build through the draft. They're going to trade down. They're going to take the best player available, and they're going to go for it in 2028 and beyond. The next 2 years, they're going to be brutal, but he has a plan. That's the thing. He clearly has a plan. We have to tear it down to build it back up. And this is one of many moves that the Dolphins will make to get better in the future. Once again, it'll stink now, but they have 7 picks in the top 100. Look for Jon-Eric Sullivan to trade down even more. Maybe add 8 or 9 picks in the top 100. Maybe trade for picks next year. End up with 12 or 14 picks each of the next 2 years and completely rebuild. It's a deep offensive line class, especially interior. It's a deep wide receiver class. It's a deep tight end draft. 3 huge needs on this team. In the meantime, the Dolphins are going to run the ball a lot with Devon Achane and Malik Willis. They may lead the league in rushing. There's going to be designed running plays for Willis. He could average 50 or 60 yards a game, and we know what Achane can do. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the NFL. Let me know in the comments, Dolphins fans, do you want me to do a 3-round mock, Dolphins only? I think I'm going to do that this year, team-specific mocks. I didn't do it last year while I was building up my channel, but I'm definitely going to do it for the Packers. Definitely do it for the Panthers, because Panthers fans are awesome. They support my channel so much, and with 7 picks in the top 100, I should definitely do a Dolphins one as well. Let me know if you want that in the comments. So once again, great move for both teams going in different directions. The Broncos, one of the best teams in the NFL, got better. And if you're a draft nerd like me, and you happen to be a Dolphins fan, you're going to love this draft because they can take just about anything. When you need everything, you just take the best player available. You don't reach for a need. It's the easiest way to draft ever. Yes, it sucks your roster is not very good, but you can take literally anything. And I remember when Ted Thompson first got to Green Bay, that's what he was doing. He took the best player available, regardless of position, and he built a championship team. So let me know in the comments, who do you think won this trade, Broncos or Dolphins? I think they both get an A for me. I think they knocked it out of the park. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Reminder, World Baseball Classic watch along tonight. Venezuela versus USA, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Link in the description. Once again, we will talk a lot of football in the commercials, so make sure you come check that out. Share this with anyone who loves football. I cover all 32 teams on this channel. I will talk a lot about the Dolphins leading up to the draft, so tell your Dolphins friends. Make sure they subscribe and hit the bell and all of that. Check this video out if you have not, and I'll see you in the next one.